So now we'd like to start Module 2. I hope you guys are prepared. Our Module 2 is going to be starting on the right track, okay? In this business, again, see, I keep talking about this business and other businesses because you will find in life that what's successful for one endeavor also proves to be a successful technique or frame of mind or work ethic for another endeavor. In fact, studies have shown that in production, in manufacturing, or in the corporate world, if you take somebody who excels in one department, let's say in accounting, and you take him and put him in marketing, most likely he will also excel in that department, okay? Because the same frame of mind, the same heart, the same work ethic that made him excel there will make him excel in another department. So I keep referring to this business and other businesses because really it's true. What you're going to learn in this business hopefully will also propel you into be a better person in the other aspects of your life. Okay, so when we say starting on the right track, we're talking about building the right foundation that will determine how effective a leader you will become and consequently how large an organization you will build. Okay. Bottom line, ultimately, all of us here would like to have large global organizations. Huge reaction from the crowd. We all want to have global organizations, right? Isn't that what we want? I mean, I have been in the background, so to speak, when it comes to e-commerce and you know, the computer, you know, I used to call these things rats. I didn't know, you know, all I know is this little rodent that my child uses for his computer. So I never really understood, okay, I never really understood what e-commerce meant on a global scale. Okay, and I tell this story a lot because I remember Muhammad Isa coming into the office before and, you know, on the e-commerce and the net, once we go on the web, and I'm like, yeah. See, because me, I know how to network only one way, one-on-one. I know how to build an organization only one way, one-on-one. Sit down, train your group, you know, have home meetings, etc., etc. And I used to be like, yeah, right. And then pretty soon, I find out that because of e-commerce, Mr. Isa now has a huge line growing in Sweden. Not only did he open up Sweden, but it's now, you know, growing. He used to come to my office and say, Joe, look, from Alabama. Joe, look, from Sweden. Joe, look, from Switzerland. Joe, and I'm like, wow. You know, and he proved me wrong in this thing. You can build this if you do it right on e-commerce, okay? But again, you also have to build a large organization through your leaders, okay? So anyway, that's one thing that I'd like to really focus on tonight in this module is how to build a large global organization. Okay, of course, we don't want our organization to be just in our neighborhood. Okay, it starts that way. It starts with your friends, your relatives, your office mates. But if you do it right, you will see that your organization will go into countries where you may probably never even have been. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about when I say that the foundation will determine how effective a leader you will become. Okay, for your organization, because every organization needs a leader. Okay, so we're going to talk about foundation building. Okay, before you do anything, you should talk about your foundation. Many times I have people coming to the office saying, oh, Joe, you know, I want to go to this country and that. Oh, I know, you know, this. And I'm like, wait, you know, have you had any training in this business? Would you know how to make a presentation when you go to that? No, you're supposed to go there with me. Wait. You know, like Kuna so efficiently pointed out, I can't be in 100 places all at once, although I probably have enough flesh to go around in 100 places, but I'm working on it. Okay, so we're going to talk about foundation building, okay? And for me, in this business, the best foundation, okay, the best foundation in this business is you. You have to start here, inside, with yourself. You have to realize that you are going to be the cornerstone of your organization. The first thing that you have to do, like I was saying earlier, is get educated. Okay? Learn everything you can about the industry. Okay? Like I said, it's been a long, colorful, profitable, world-changing industry that we're in. Okay, it's something that has changed people's lives, made them independent. It espouses free enterprise. Okay, it's something that has changed the face of this earth. Okay, you have to know about the company. Okay, I don't want to go into that. We went into it in our other module. Everything you can about the company, about GoldQuest. Stay abreast of all the current events. Okay, get hold of all the quests. You know how we have this newsletter that we come out with. Okay, if you don't have it available with you, you can download it on the from the web. Okay, from our web page. Everything's going to be there. Okay, so stay abreast with everything that's happening. Okay, then also the plan. You should always know everything. Okay, about the plan. Not just how much money it can generate if you do this. Okay, but what is binary? What is this plan that we follow? What advantages does it have over stair-step, over unilevel type of plans, over hybrid, over matrix? There are many, many different kinds of plans, okay? And the more you know about the different kinds of plans, the more you will understand, the more you will appreciate the strengths of the binary plan. That's why all over the world, okay, I don't have too much time to go into the net, but every now and then I get emails, okay, from people, oh, you should see this new company, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you should, all the new companies that I've seen over the last 5, 6, I haven't seen one with any other plan other than binary. Okay, it's all binary. Okay, now, as you go out, you will realize that binary didn't always have a good history. Okay, and I'd like to explain that. One of the things you're going to have to learn if you want to do this business properly is learn how to handle objections, correct? How many had objections when they first started doing this business? Did you join right away? And it was the ability of the person presenting the business to you, or persons, okay, it was their ability to answer objections, right, that made you ultimately decide to say, hey, this is a serious business. This is something I can do. Okay? Now, many, many times you will have people objecting regarding binary. Okay? The reason that binary had some bad associations, okay, because, oh, it's illegal, oh, companies with binary never last, okay, oh, of course, the same people that are saying this, okay, don't say, yeah, the companies that use stair-step plans, many, many companies also close, many companies also, you know, in other words, it's not just the binary. Now, the reason, okay, in my opinion, that the binary had a bad, quote-unquote, name in the market, okay, and be glad to say it's changing now, okay, because of the success of other companies like GoldQuest that are using the binary plan. In my opinion, the reason that they had a bad name, and I'm sharing this with you so you can answer objections later on with regards to the plan that GoldQuest has chosen, is that binary is very powerful, it's very strong. Okay? Now that's one reason why binary had a bad name. Okay, but again, I would like to point out, there are also many other companies that have cheated the public, that have used other plans. Not just binary, it's just that now, since binary is so fast, okay. Now, another thing that I noticed, I do a lot of reading, as much time that I have reading on the industry. Many, many books on direct selling, you know, multi-level marketing, referral, and all that. So I started looking and skimming through them, and many of them, you know, how to choose the right company, how to choose the right program, the differences between this program and that program. And I found out that many of these books didn't even have binary. They didn't even have binary in their on their list, so to speak. Okay, because it's so new. Okay, binary is so new. Now, the legitimate companies that wanted to use binary, I know of at least 4. Okay, legitimate companies, I mean, you know, people with, companies with people behind them that, you know, wanted to do honest business, that wanted to grow their businesses. But since the binary plan was so new to them, that they came up with a system that was not, that, you know, that didn't work, basically. Some paid out too much, okay, some, you know, just some, most of them didn't work. And many companies closed because of that, okay. Now, that's what gave binary basically a bad name. But now, on the rebound, there are many, many companies, I happen to feel GoldQuest is one of the best of them, that are using binary for the positive. Okay, in fact, if you notice, all the new companies now are binary because of the success and the integrity of companies like GoldQuest that carry on business in a manner of integrity. So see, it helps to know these things. Of course, I'm just, explaining the difference between binary and other plans, and, why binary came to be this way and why it had this kind of name. But it helps to know these things. Okay, it helps. Because let me tell you, there's nothing more demotivating than having a leader who knows nothing about the business. And I must stress that I put brackets or quote unquote on the word leader. Okay, because if he doesn't know anything about this business, he has no right to be called a leader or to call himself a leader. Okay, isn't it demotivating when you've just started in the business, okay, and you're there, you're all excited, right? And you come up to your leader, the one who referred you to this business. Hey, what's maxing out? What's cycling mean? And the guy's like, well, I don't know. Go look in the webpage. And yeah, okay, how many cycles can you do in one day? Gee, I don't know. I mean, could you be motivated if you had a leader like that? On the other hand, it's so inspiring to have a leader who can lead, not with hype, but with heavy-duty knowledge. I mean, you ask the guy about something, he knows. Okay, I pointed out Ranjit, but the same goes with Tony Kong and Muhammad Isa. I've sat there in the office and watched these guys when they have new customers coming in and new leaders in their line coming in, and they have these sessions where these guys, hey, what about this? And they sit there and they answer one by one all the questions. They sit there and do their trainings, and these guys walk out of the office on fire. You know why? Because they know they have somebody that they can look up to. They know that they have a leader that they can count on. Okay, so it is so inspiring, it's so motivating to have somebody that you can count on. Now let me ask you, what kind of leader are you? What kind of leader are you? Are you the kind of leader that your organization wants to gravitate towards? Or are you the kind of leader that people want to avoid because, better not go to Joe, he doesn't know a thing. Heavy-duty knowledge. Because from heavy-duty knowledge comes wisdom. The more knowledge you have, that eventually turns into wisdom. I had a very, very interesting conversation with Ranjit as we were finalizing the PowerPoint. We're fixing and doing some editing. And he said, it's so nice because I've been doing the same training with my group. And he says, everything starts in your imagination. And I was like, wow. I was trying to concentrate. I was like, yeah, that's right. Okay, I mean, people take for granted what imagination can do. I mean, can you imagine Albert Einstein? Think of the imagination that this guy must have had, thinking about splitting the atom. I mean, how? I've always wondered about that. Okay, who was the first guy that ever cooked meat or vegetables? You know what I mean? Have you ever wondered about that? What made a guy invent, let's say, I don't know, gunpowder? What made the guy invent the airplane? What kind of imagination? You have to have imagination. You can't forget how powerful that is. How many here can imagine their organization 2 years from now? From that imagination, now it slowly becomes vision. And now the processing of that vision, when you have that vision, you have a quest for knowledge. You want to know more. How can I go towards that vision? So because of that quest, now you get knowledge. Then the vision with the knowledge now turns into wisdom. It's a whole process. From imagination, going into vision, going into knowledge, and going into wisdom. You have to use all the tools necessary. Because like I said, if you want to build a large organization, the best foundation is you. Learn how to use every God-given skill, talent, knowledge, wisdom. Sources of knowledge and wisdom that you can go to. Okay, because of course if you're new in the business, then you have to have people to go to. Leaders up in your organization. One of the nicest things about the plan that Gold Quest follows, okay, remember, it doesn't make a difference whether you're direct or indirect, right? When you have 5 on the left and 5 on the right, does it make a difference whether it's 5 directs or 5 indirects? You get paid the same amount, right? In other words, you can go down deep in your training. Because of this plan, the inherent nature of this plan, you can be 200 generations away from someone. Let's say I was in Ranjit's organization. Okay, between Ranjit and myself are 200 people. Okay, you know, this guy referred this guy and referred this guy and referred this guy. There's 200 generations between Ranjit and myself. And I need, you know, to find out more about the business. I need somebody to help me grow. And I go to Ranjit. Will Ranjit close the door on me? No. Why? Because when he helps me build my organization, it's still under his organization also. So I'm saying you have access to many leaders up in your organization. Don't think that your leader is only the guy who referred you into the business. Because his leader will help you out in this business. Because he also benefits. So spend time with these people. Let them know, I'm open for training. I'm open for impartation from you. Okay? Another source of wisdom and knowledge is leaders down in your organization. I've heard it so many times. Oh, you're in my organization. I'm a leader. You learn from me. Let's not go on an ego trip about this. There are many people. When I was a customer, there were many people in my organization, below me in my organization. I mean, this whole training program is a result of my fellowshipping and my time spent with these people. There's so much wisdom and knowledge and experience that came out, not just from people above me, not from leaders above me, but also from people below me. You have many people under you that are leaders. There's ways that you can hook up with them. Establish teamworks. Okay, one of these days, Mr. Rink is going to come and do a seminar like this on strategies, how to build teams. I'd love to do it right now, but I don't have my famous whiteboard. Now I have the laptop. But there's ways that you can build teams below in your organization. And for example, I had somebody the other night, last night, at the office saying, you know, I want to come in, you know, with a 15 header. I said, no, sir, you know, just do 3. Just do 3. That's the best. You know, you build 3. He goes, wait, don't you guys want business? Don't you guys want? Of course we want. But man, to make a 15 header earn money, you need to build 16 legs, right? And I mean, is that easy? It's not easy. How do you support 16 legs? Maybe eventually, over a year or 2, yes, you can. But in the beginning, I said, sir, just do 3. Build 1 leg on the left first, 1 leg on the right. But I want to have many tracking centers. Yes, you can go under, you can go below. Okay? That's what I'm saying. There's many other strategies that you can do. But there's a lot of teamwork. There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom that you can pick up below in your organization. Company materials, periodicals, you know, the quest, the web page, you know, all these things. There's a lot of stuff that you can pick up on from the company. Tapes, audiovisual, audio tapes. When I first started in this business, of course that was 10 years and 80 pounds ago. When I first started this business, you know, in Manila, we're famous for our traffic. Okay, I know some of you will say kidnapping, but before that, we were famous for our traffic. Okay, and I used to spend a lot of time in the car. You know, I would sit there and do training in the car. I would listen to tapes in the car. I would spend 1 or 2 hours. Hey, that's training time. I would sit and go with somebody below me and say, come on, let's do training in your group. While we're in the car, we sit there, we talk, we train. Use your time. Okay, but and don't limit your wisdom with the material that we come up with. Okay, because there's a whole wealth of material out there. Like I said, what works in one business is going to work in another business. Excellency in one will also make you shine in another. Okay, so don't limit yourself to me or Patrick or VJ or Mr. Rink or Mr. Bismarck. We learned from somebody else. Books, very, very important. Wealth of wisdom in books. When I first started in this business, I couldn't afford books. Okay, I was in traditional business really grew, and I was sitting on top of the world, and then one thing led to another. My partner and I had a falling out. Bottom line is I ended up with nothing, the next day and owing half the world. Okay, and that's how I got into this business. And I used to be really, really frustrated about it, but now I'm so thankful, because if it weren't for that situation, I would have never discovered this industry. But anyway, I knew God works in mysterious ways. Really, I came to know this wonderful industry because of that incident in my life. But anyway, I knew I had to go get educated, okay, in this business. So I would go out to, what's the equivalent of your MPH? We call it National Bookstore in the Philippines. I would go there and start reading books. Okay, I couldn't afford to buy them. Okay, so I'd take them out of their plastic sleeve. Okay, and you could always tell when I was going to National Bookstore. I'd be in my shorts, rubber shoes, t-shirt, comfortable, and I'd sit there, take it out of the plastic sleeve and read. For 1-2 hours, read about the business, the industry, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd close it, I'd hide it behind other books, and then I'd go, okay, and have lunch and come back after lunch break. And then I would come back. No, really, I'm serious. I would come back, pick up the book, and pick up where I left off. And I'd have, sir, no private reading. I'm like, no, I'm reading in public. This is not private reading. This is okay. But that's how I started. Company meetings. How do you learn how to present the business? Go watch somebody do it, right? I would go almost every night to all the meetings that the company had, just trying to soak up all the excitement, all the wisdom. I sat there and listened to all the different types of presentations. This guy would present the business in a different, this guy would present the business, and I started identifying, okay, I think this way will work best for me. I think this way will work best for me. And I started putting together my own presentation. I was saying earlier, one of the skills you need to succeed in this is how to answer objections. The other one is how to make an effective presentation. So that's one of the first things, the first thing is I endeavored to learn, and you do that by listening to others present. Go to company meetings, make use of it. Remember, you're in the business of impartation. The more you know, the more you can pass down to your existing and future leaders. Okay, if you know nothing, you pass down nothing. It's that simple. I don't know how graphic you want me to be. Okay, if you go on a Xerox machine and out on the out plate or on the out tray, you want to see a full sheet of paper, what do you put up on top of the photographic plate? An empty piece? An empty sheet? No, you put in also a full sheet. That's what gets copied. Remember I was saying you are the standard bearer of your network? You are the one that your organization is going to emulate. You are the one that your organization is going to copy. Now let me ask you, are you worth copying? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, I would like to have 2, 3, 4, 5 more under me like me? Some are saying yes, some are saying no. I don't mean any offense. Like I said, we don't have much time with each other. I must speak the truth. I asked your permission, remember? The more knowledge you have, the more confidence your organization will have in you. Okay, I just want to reiterate that point again. You want to acquire knowledge and wisdom not just for your sake, but for the people below you. Because let's face it, if you want to be successful in this business, you need to have an organization. The next building block of your foundation is setting up a home office. Okay, you don't have to go out, and rent at the Petronas, 1,000 square meters or 10,000 square feet of office space to do this business. No, you don't. We're structuring the web page. How many have seen the new design of the web page? Isn't it much better than the old one? We're designing that so that you don't have to go anywhere to do business. Everything can be done on the web. Okay, but still, you still should have a home office. Okay, in other words, you don't have to have an office in the traditional sense of the word. Okay, I built other businesses, I built organizations in other businesses, okay, from my home. Okay? Your real capital in this business is time. Right? Is it the $430? Is that your capital? I'm only hearing one or two people say no. Think about it. Either yes or no. Is that your capital? No. No. You're just buying a coin. That's all you're doing. Right? What is your real capital in this business? Time. Time, effort. That's your real capital. Okay? Now, if I were to put up, let's say, a computer shop, let's say all the money I had in the bank was, let's say, 100,000 ringgit, and I set up a computer shop. Okay? And that computer shop failed for some reason. Okay? I can't afford to make it fail because that's all the money I have. That's all the capital I have. But if Bill Gates were to put up a computer shop of 100,000 and that thing closed, will it make him bankrupt? What I'm trying to say is he can afford to lose more because he has more capital. I'm trying to address here the people that do this business part-time. How many endeavor in this business part-time? Okay, there's a lot of you out there. How many do this full-time? Also very good. Congratulations. But many of them started also doing this part-time. Okay, now when you're doing this business part-time, your capital base, right, is very, because time is your capital. See, if you only have 1 or 2 hours a day, okay, to invest into this business, you shouldn't waste it. If you only have 2 hours a week to do this business, you shouldn't waste that. Okay? Time is your real capital here. That doesn't mean that if you're doing it full time and you have 8, 9, 10 hours a day that you can go around wasting your time. No. But you can afford to make more mistakes, right? Because you're just putting in more hours. But that doesn't mean that you should go around wasting time. Remember, okay, I don't have this on PowerPoint. You might want to take this down. One of the biggest advantages about this business is you don't have a boss, right? There's no pressure. There's no pressure from any boss. The only pressure you feel is yourself. Is the pressure that you put on yourself. I'm sorry. One of the worst things about this business is you don't have a boss. Hey, bosses are good because they're the ones that push us to reach our maximum. I know some, I do this business full time. But then when you go into his daily schedule, guy wakes up at 12, finishes his lunch break by 2:30. And he has to finish by 2:30 because he has to catch a 3 o'clock showing at Mid-Valley of, the movie. And he's out at 5 o'clock, just in time for an early supper, so he can finish by 7 to catch the next showing at Mid-Valley. And he has to catch the 7 so he can have a late supper at 9:30 and be in the disco by 11. But I don't work. I do Gold Quest full time. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Doesn't mean that just because you don't have a boss that you can go around and waste your time. Always remember that. Your capital in this business is your time. If you're doing it part-time, then the more you should guard this capital. Make sure you don't waste it. And the way to be more efficient at managing your time is setting up a home office. You have to get organized, okay, in order not to waste your time. Okay, now the way to get organized, okay, in your home office, you should have company materials, brochures, profiles, newspapers, etc., etc. Okay, you should have a stack of them. You know why? Because you don't want to have just one, right? And then you go to a presentation, can I have this brochure? I'm going to discuss this with my wife. Now you have to go back all the way to the office. You see what I'm trying to say? Now in Manila, going back to the office from your house sometimes takes 2-3 hours because of our traffic situation. Now here, it may only take 1 hour or maybe 45 minutes or 30 minutes, but hey, you still don't want to waste 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour. You could spend that time sitting down and showing the business to someone, or sitting down with the group or 2 or 3 of your people and training them. Don't waste your time, okay? That's the reason why you should have stuff in your house. You know, have some brochures. Wherever you go, you should have them. You should also have profiles and downloads from the websites. Because many times it keeps you abreast with all the most recent things that are happening with the company. You should have files of your genealogy report. How many have files of their genealogy report? You know why this is important? Why is it important to you guys? Number 1, to track your growth, right? And number 2, when people say, hey, does this work? Yeah, look at my organization. This is my genealogy. Look, these guys, I don't even know them, but I trained these guys who trained these guys, and now my organization has grown. That's what you need a genealogy report for. Your checks. You should have files of your checks. Oh, have you made money? Yes, I have. Look. This is a testimony business. That's the reason why you have to have your checks. To prove to people that it works. If you just started in the business, of course you're not going to have a check, you're not going to have a coin. Have copies of your friends' checks or your leaders' checks. In other words, if you don't have your own testimony yet, use somebody else's. Right? Now, I don't think there's anything wrong, you know. Joe, how much have you earned already? Well, I haven't earned yet. I just started 4 days ago. Okay, yeah, this business is not good, you haven't earned it. Hey, I've been in this business a week. I've spent most of this time just training, so I haven't earned it. However, my uncle who brought me in is now doing about $1,000 or $1,500 a week, and he's only been in 3 months. Really? Yeah, look, here are his checks. This is what his organization looks like now. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Doesn't mean just because you don't have your testimony that you can't do this business. And tell this to your new leaders and your new potential leaders. Because I hear that all the time. Oh, Joe, I can't do this business. I don't have my coin yet.